Hi there, students. To pick up the slack, or to take up the slack. Okay, this talks about work that is not getting done in an organization, for example. And pick up the slack means do that work or get somebody to do that work. So we have got several people ill and they are off work at the moment, and the rest of us are going to have to work doubly hard to take up the slack, to do the things that are not getting done. My wife has got a job and now works from 9 till 5 every day. So I'm going to have to pick up the slack, pick up the slack at home, do things at home that are not getting done because now she works. So to pick up the slack, to take up the slack, to do the extra work that somebody else is unable to do or not willing to do. One of our players was injured and couldn't continue to play, so the rest of us had to pick up the slack to do the extra work that was necessary to be at full power. So this has this idea to pick up the slack. We reduce the bad effects of something by making an extra effort. Okay, the company works in various different sectors, and normally when one sector is not very good, the company can pick up the slack in another sector. When people don't come into work, the rest of the workers need to take up the slack, pick up the slack. Now, the real meaning of this slack. Okay, so look, this is hanging down. Yeah, it's hanging down. And if I pick up the slack, I make it taut. Yeah, I pull on the ends, and this is picking up or taking up the slack. Slack is something that's hanging down, and this is the idea. Or maybe a company could hire new workers to take up the slack, or to improve the use of resources, to avoid a problem. So there are many things that are not getting done in this business, and we need some extra workers to take up the slack. So to do work that would otherwise be left undone, or to provide extra resources that are needed to take up the slack, to do the work that there just isn't time for. Okay, so to improve the use of resources. Okay, the slack is talking about spare capacity that's not being used. And so to pick up the slack, to do or provide someone or people to do what is not getting done. So when employees don't do their jobs properly, the boss or the owner has to take up the slack. Okay, he wasn't earning enough money to pay for his lifestyle, so he got another job to pick up the slack. Okay, so to pay for the difference. Okay, extra workers will help to pick up the slack. Extra profitability will help to pick up the slack, to provide or compensate for something that's missing or incomplete. New resources will take up the slack of when the old ones run out. Let's see that with oil, they say that they've reached a point where it's more difficult to find oil. But I have a feeling that new sources take up the slack when old ones become depleted. So to take up the slack, to cover for something, to deal with the rest. Okay, so to pick up the slack, to effectively deal with what is undone. Everybody in the company is doing overtime to pick up the slack. So, formality, pick up the slack. I think I'm going to give it a 4 in formality. Use informally. Use in a semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing, but not in something very formal. And then, as I said, to pick up the slack, well, the slack is the rope hanging down, and you pick up the slack, it picks it up. So anyway, enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Pick up the slack. Take up the slack.